the madness on college campuses
Ugh.
continues. Institutions of learning who are now becoming institutions of distraction. I don't know if I'm going to earn my MAGA hat on this, but there's a line. Like free speech, right to assemble. If you dig down into that, and I went to the ACLU's website today, and you get no more left side than the ACLU. And the quote from the ACLU was, First Amendment protects your right to assemble and express your views through protest. However, police and other government officials are allowed to place certain narrow restrictions on the exercise of speech rights. Make sure you're prepared by brushing up on your rights before heading out into the streets. And one of those limitations, very clearly stated, is the difference between public property and private property. Kevin, I cannot stand on your lawn and hold signs that say anything,
Absolutely.
no matter how fervently I believe in that or how right I may be. And many college campuses are private institutions, not public. So the problem that's happening here is these institutions, of course, want this money to keep coming in, and they're to keep enrollment up. So they don't want to come across as too harsh. But God damn it, if I'm paying that kind of money, or my kid has a scholarship, whatever, and their education, their 4 years there their rights are being violated to have an education by disturbances or by inability to get to class or fearing that you're going to be hit in the head with something, then you have infringed on someone else's rights and therefore forfeited your own. The world-wise 19-year-olds that are all being quoted by the news media on this planet that can't even buy a goddamn martini yet, they don't dictate the law, and they certainly don't understand the complexities of the international religious conflict and policy. So if you assemble and protest within the confines of the law, that's fine. But if you haven't, you've broken it. And you know what? Welcome to the penal system, kid. It's not fun being in
Well, I
jail.
mean, I watched them down at the University of Texas in Austin. I don't know what law enforcement it was, but man, they didn't fuck around.
Mm-hmm. I
They
saw that.
got that riot line,
Mm-hmm.
and they basically just pushed, and then once anybody put up any kind of resistance, they just snatched them and threw them behind them and kept the line going. And I think they pretty much pig-tied whoever they threw through. And I was just thinking to myself, like, oh, like there's nobody that was probably has been more upset over the carpet bombing that happened in Gaza, you know.
You've been vocal about that.
But at the same time, it's like if you, my problem is okay. Why are we? We just had the House pass the bill with the funding,
Yes.
and Israel was a part of that funding, but they were saying that a great deal of that funding was going to go to Gaza and to the
Humanitarian
refugees.
aid.
But I'd like to see the breakdown. I'd like to see that because I don't right now. I just don't. It seems to me like we're shooting $1 million missiles to knock out $230,000 drones and doing the protection service thing over there, and it's just like. In the meantime, the Ukrainians, who are a democracy, who are fighting the Russians,
Mm-hmm.
don't even have. I mean, they're fucking shooting smoke rounds out of their artillery because they don't. They can't even put up a fight. And it's just I'm thinking to myself like, when did shit get so fucked up? Like everything's fucked up. If I feel like I'm in a Limp Bizkit song.
So here, the
Okay,
aid
here
for
we go.
Israel consists of $17 billion in defense, $5.2 billion to replenish and expand the missile and rocket defense system, $3.5 billion to purchase advanced weapon systems, $1 billion to enhance weapons production. So that's all. That's all very much military. The first four bullets that we've gotten there. $4.4 billion for defense supplies.
Yeah, you get to the bottom of it. $1 billion for humanitarian relief for Palestinians. in Gaza.
Mm-hmm. Out of the 90, it was at
Yeah,
95 billion.
yeah.
The bill.
One bill. That's like I read something online, and somebody said, if you're so fucking pro-Palestinian, why don't you give up your fucking tent that you've got in the middle of this campus and give it to. And he said, and why exactly do the Palestinians need tents? Because you fucking basically fucking carpet bombed their fucking homes.
Was a protester that they were
Yeah,
talking.
they were talking to a protester that it was in a tent. And they were like, "Why don't you take your tent and give it to the Palestinians if you're so pro-Palestinian?" And the fucking guy's his rebuttal was basically, and why, refresh me why they need
Yeah.
fucking tents in Palestine.
That was a really stupid question to start with. Whoever the interviewer
Yeah.
was there must have been from Fox.
Oof.
So listen, Kevin, your question: when did everything get so fucked up? It's funny when I watch
Yeah.
shit now and things come up, or I read something and researching for a book or whatever, and I come across a newspaper and I'm like going through the different articles in like 72 or whatever. That's been fucked up forever. It was so more easily hidden though when you didn't
Yeah.
have access to news everywhere.
And we were talking the other day, you and I, and for the quarter, Shell Oil's fucking profits were 9.4 billion, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to 4.2 the first quarter of last year.
Yeah. What changed?
So $5 billion, but it's Biden's fault that the gas is expensive. No, it's corporate greed. There's so much fucking corporate, like, it's unbelievable. Like, people just, and
You said to me in that exchange that the number one issue to get the economy back on track. You said two things. You said the corporate putting a limitation on corporate greed, and then there was a second one.
there has to be a taxation.
Oh, the taxation, right?
There has to be taxation. I mean, if a guy making $73,000 that lives in Des Moines, Iowa, is fucking paying $22,000 in federal taxes, like, what the fuck? Like, you can't take 30% of some. It just doesn't work. Like, our tax code, like, you have to fucking tax corporations.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when they make those. Somebody, I'm sure it was bogus but they were saying something where Biden was going to have some incredible capital gain taxes that were coming along, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, let's just take the $5 billion for the quarter that Shell Oil made. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Four
What you could do with
percent,
that? Yeah.
4%. A little something. Nothing. Okay. And people always say, "Oh yeah, fucking." I'm telling you right now, man. When I fucking pull up to the gas pump and it's 4.09 for a gallon of premium, I'm like, fuck. And it was 4.28 or something like that a couple weeks ago. So,
But if anyone cares beyond complaining at the pump or putting a stupid sticker that was all over Florida, I'm sure when you
right.
pulled in, you saw them. I did this. Research what a barrel of crude is and put that on a graph next to what the price is at the pump, and that's your fucking story. Nobody
Right.
will do that, though. Of course, that would
No.
make too much sense. Wesley informed me that what WWE is doing, they're very savvy. They have lawyers on staff. They don't say the 90 days is a non-compete. They tell you they're not going to use you for 90 days, and they'll pay you for that.
As long as you're getting paid, that's fuck it. I love that deal.
Stay home and get the check.
Fuck, man. How do I sign up? I got 11, 12 good years left in me at that pace.
Well, that's David. Did you guys see that scumbag Harvey Weinstein got his conviction overturned? I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, wow, that was my.
Maybe we'll cover that more in depth next week because I was under the understanding that to introduce, you can call character witnesses that can talk about past events. The judge's decision, the way she wrote it, was that the prior judge allowed people to talk about instances that weren't in the formal charges.
Right.
But it's character witness statements. People to come up and say, "Yeah, Nash stole all his money from me." Of course. What do you think, Kev?
Well, we were talking today, my wife and I, and it's just like, so is he out until he has trial?
Well,
I mean,
there's New
is
York
he is
charges,
he
but then there's California charges
yeah,
too.
but is he bondable?
I think that's the judge's discretion, right? You can keep somebody without bond until their trial
I would hope.
if you feel they're a danger, and that's probably what'll happen. I can't imagine him getting out.
No, I don't know. It's very